Hello and welcome to a very special conversation. Today I have with me Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. He's a five-term Rajya Sabha MP. He's also the Congress Party's ace strategist and ace lawyer. In fact, the one man the party turns to in case of, the man for all seasons. Any trouble, and Dr. Singhvi is the first person they turn to, whether it is a debate in parliament, whether it is, of course, one of the many cases in court, or whether it is dealing with us in the media. I think, Dr. Singhvi, you play many roles, but today I want to talk to you also as a thought leader. We are we're living in a very strange times. We've seen these results of the five assembly elections. There is now a buzz coming with the BJP winning so many states. Is it the end of federalism as we know? Because the BJP, we are told, wants to weaken the Congress but not finish the Congress. But they do want to finish regional parties and regional identities.
Well, thank you, Priya, for a very generous, possibly undeserved introduction, but
Very much deserved.
very nice to be back on your program. It's an important issue you've raised, and since we have some time, let me just step back a little bit before we come to the politics of it. It's very interesting. There is no word federal or federalism in the entire constitution. It is one of the longest in the world, and there's no word federalism. If you Google the constitution, you will get federalism many places, or federal you'll get many places, which refers to the federal court, the predecessor of the Supreme Court, but not federalism. It is also a word conspicuous by its absence in the preamble. Fraternity, liberty, equality, but no federalism. Why I'm saying all this is, that's one of the very correct and amazing accomplishments of the evolutionary journey of our constitutional ethos. That we have now established federalism, not textually mentioned in the constitution, as a part of the basic structure. You know what a basic structure is? Of course you do, your viewers know. One sentence, the basic structure is a remarkable doctrine which says, even a constitutional amendment which violates the basic structure will be unconstitutional.
So basic
It's the
structure
Keshwan and
cannot
the
be
Bharati.
tampered with. Yes.
Exactly. Now, if you are a part of basic structure, I can't tamper with your contours. If I am a part of the basic structure, you can't tamper with my contours. So the moment the court, and this the court held from Keshwananda Bharati, but more important is what people know now, the Bommai case. So they said that federalism is part of the basic structure. So that's giving you the importance of how law has been interpreted and understood. Why? The other second very remarkable thing is that when the framers, our wise old people in the Constituent Assembly, far wiser than us, sat for 3 odd years, they were faced with very dangerous, environment around them. There was a lot of mayhem, bloodshed. They were also genuinely and rightly scared of fissiparous tendencies. The republic will break away. There will be no republic, etc. There were the horrors of partition. And yet these wise men sat. They did create largely a centralized union with some federal features. So some eminent constitutional lawyers in those days called India not a federal constitution, they called it quasi-federal.
Right.
So a federal constitution, a true federal constitution would be something like USA, which is bottom up. In USA, pre-existing states were countries. Louisiana was a country. Texas was a country. All were countries. Not all, many were. They gave up, they ceded sovereignty on 4 or 5 areas and joined together to form the United States of America. That's bottom up. We are top-down federalism. We are basically central with some federal features. Having given you that backdrop, the third remarkable point is that while our framers created, because this is very interesting how the text of the constitution changes with the interpretation. I gave you the example of federalism basic structure.
Right.
Second example is that while our framers created a constitutional entity which is largely centralized with very few federal features in conception and design in 1950, the remarkable achievement is that today, after 75, 80 years, we are a far, far more federal country in operational reality. Scholars have written and said this is inadvertent and accidental federalism, but very welcome. Because design is that, but the reality, because see now fiscal federalism, before I answer the political question, I have to give this setting.
Right.
Fiscal federalism, we used to devolve 30% to states. We now devolve just under 45%. This Panchayati Raj and municipal do you know that under 20 lakh women or apart from that, at 3 levels of panchayat, every level there are elected representatives who decide for themselves the bridge, the road, etc. in the local level. That's federalism for you. That's decentralization, is another name for federalism. There are very few misuses or exercises of 356. The case which led to Bomai.
Right.
Because the biggest antithesis of federalism is 356. But because now courts have started intervening and jumping in very fast, there have been hardly 15, 20 in the last 20 years. Previously, the courts used to be very slow. Ramakrishna Hegde filed the petition. He won the petition. By the time he got the judgment, his government had changed twice over.
Right.
That doesn't happen
He didn't
now.
have a lawyer like you who knows how to move the courts.
So the point I'm now making is, so now federalism is a very powerful and one of the, the gems on your mantelpiece. Having said that, this government, now we come to a political part of the question. And, you can discount the fact that I'm in a political party, but I'm also a constitutional lawyer. Very sadly, has given you slogans, shibboleths, acronyms, one-liners, and acted totally against the spirit of federalism. Blatantly and brazenly. And I have no hesitation in calling it out. You see, you have these nice words every day. Now he stopped doing it, but the top 2 or 3 people in the government used to say cooperative federalism,
right,
competitive federalism, conciliatory federalism. These nice phrases.
Yeah.
Actual सच्चाई क्या है? सच्चाई है कि पहली बार 80 साल में राज्यपाल प्रदेश के बाद 2-2 साल तक आपका लेजिस्लेशन पारित नहीं करते हैं. What is federalism? You are the state elected chief minister. I am the governor.
Right.
Ambedkar at that time was so far-sighted, he said, in one scabbard there can't be 2 swords. एक म्यान में 2 तलवार नहीं हो सकती. You are the elected chief minister. You are elected to do right, but you are also elected to do wrong, and your punishment is that you will be chucked out the next time. It doesn't mean that I, the governor, become a super chief minister. Yes. Now you tell me, in Tamil Nadu, we know the governor's name. I won that case in the Supreme Court. 1.5 saal, 2 years tak. Stalin passes a law. It is not cleared by the governor for 2 years. They sit on it. Is this federalism in practice? And is the governor anybody else except an agent of the central government? I'm very sorry, I'm a very restrained person, but I've written and I've used the word, it's a supari agent of the central government.
That is calling it.
In Bengal, have you ever seen governor's interference, both previous and recent current? Blatant, you would go and give interference in state administration. You would not, in Tamil Nadu and Bengal again, you would not, never happen in 80 years that the governor would not read the speech given to him when the assembly opens. The president has to open the parliament, the governor has to. He would not read, he would read one line and then walk away. It's happened in Tamil Nadu 3 times. In Punjab, same thing. I can name state after state. Take, for example, stepmotherly treatment. Do you really think that if a state is ruled by a political party, the color of which is not the same as the center, do you think projects are cleared as early as required? Do you think proposals are cleared as quickly as they should be? Do you think that there is actually cooperative federalism? And was these events in this degree? Forget it. I mean, there have been BJP governments of Vajpayee, there have been JD governments, there have been non-Congress governments. Forget Congress governments. In which government have you seen such remarkable micromanagement to do the center's bidding? Take, for example, recent Tamil Nadu. Take Tamil Nadu. You are the single largest, right?
Yes.
You are 100 and at that time 7 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Is there another claimant? Kindly consider common sense. There's no other claimant. You are by far the single largest. You go to the governor says that I will call you when you show me the majority, then why does it need to, you don't need to stake a claim.
Law test, yeah.
अगर आपको पूरे बहुमत होगा तो फिर उसके जाने की जरूरत क्या है? आप तो इसलिए गए हैं. अच्छा, every governor, Fadnavis with 20 short, Yedurappa with 15-20 short, was given 2 weeks to establish on the floor test.
What about that
This poor chap who's won a remarkable victory, first time in the history of India, with a direct 0 to 35%, 0 to 1 vote share, 0 to 107, is told by the governor for 4 days that you go and get a majority first. Why? Have you told it to any BJP government? So this is not federalism. Federalism का spirit क्या है? Spirit is that you have to conciliate, cooperate, collaborate. Everybody envisaged different governments of color in center, and nobody envisaged that you'll have one color. Now we come to the third part of your question, which is extremely important. There is no doubt in my mind. See, I don't have to say it. The government and the ruling party has said it 100 times. Even the Prime Minister has got bored of using the phrase now. He has said Congress Mukh Sarkar from the day he entered office. So it's clear that the object is not, now the subterranean object is to have one everything. One nation, one election. One nation, one language. One nation, one dress. One nation, one diet. One nation, one this. One nation, one that. Federalism is a celebration of diversity. Federalism actually quarantines conflicts which would otherwise explode at the center. By decentralization, it's like a pressure valve, like a pressure cooker in the kitchen, you let off steam at local decentralized levels.
Correct.
Here the approach is control freakism. Control freakism is the heart of this government's thinking. Everything should be controlled, micromanaged. Now, if, politically you have won, you won a fair election, you fight the elections. Everybody must fight the elections. But once you have won, you are my enemy. How can that be? Even Kejriwal, his government must have made a lot of faults.
Right.
Perhaps the AAP over-dramatized some issues. But does anybody put his hand on his heart and say that every kind of non-cooperation in Delhi was extended by the central government? Do you see the same today with the government being the same? Now, the point I'm making is that is not the spirit of our framers. See, you and I may not like each other. I may be Kejriwal, you may be Mr. Modi, they may hate each other. But the idea of the constitutional design was that you had to do it for the interest of Delhiites. Every proposal would be ultimately done. Suppose I give a proposal of mother's milk. Nobody can object to it. But you can delay it by 6 months.
Correct.
That's what was happening.
So then what is we know what the BJP or the RSS argument is, that, diversity actually weakens the Hindu identity. They want one pan-Hindu identity.
No, that's the problem. According to me, there is no other spot on planet Earth more diverse than India. We have more smells, more sounds, more rituals, more foods, more clothes than any other place on planet Earth.
And more religions.
More religions. It's the birthplace of 4 religions. No. Therefore, what we do by the name, of course it's a much abused name, so don't use it in the sense it's been abused. But what we do by the name of fraternity, secularism, liberty, is actually self-preservatory and selfish. We are doing nobody a favor. In a country so diverse, the only way you can rule and hold it together is to let go and let people flourish in their respective identities. That spirit is not understood by people. Forget BJP or Congress. The spirit is that in a diverse spot, the more you pull the rope, the more you create an explosive situation. If you let go, if you let decentralized thinking develop, then India develops. That is something which is the antithesis of the BJP way of thinking. And let me also tell you, India is ungovernable. As a single color, a single entity, a single swathe of thought process.
Why would you say that?
Because the very nature of the argumentative Indian, the very nature of the religions we have. We're all Indians. But even within 2 kilometers, your dress and my dress changes, your speech and my dialect changes,
right.
Your food habit and my dialect within 4 kilometers. How can you possibly govern with the same color? And let me tell you, this whole thing about Hindu identity, you're also playing the antithesis every time. For votes, you're talking of caste identities. You're talking of, if that is so, it's
the whole problem, because they are saying this caste is weakening the Hindu identity, the old Mandal versus Kamandal debate.
No, but who's playing the biggest? Do you think the BJP doesn't play the caste game? Every time it is playing the caste game. हमने अभी इतने ओबीसी अपॉइंट किए मंत्री, हमने अभी इतने अति पिछड़े अपॉइंट किए. In every sentence, every policy, there is a caste factor. So I call it hypocrisy. Jahan where it politically suits you, you will do it. Otherwise, you will give sermons and lectures. But we've come a little away from the topic. The real topic is the federal spirit. you have A, considerably weakened it. B, you are in the process of weakening it further. Now, I will never use phrase like that they want to end federalism. I mean, India is far bigger than everybody who has wanted to end it. India has a resilience and a bounce back quality, which people have failed to, they're always astonished at how. So I don't think you or me or BJP or Congress can do it. But certainly you are trying. You're trying your best. In the process, you are decimating so many things. And you tell me, how will you develop constitutional spirit if you have this system that governors will be Supari agents? They will do your bidding.
But that you can't blame the BJP, na? That is the legacy of the Congress.
Not in this blatant. Okay,
they just do it better than you.
The Congress has done it in one area, the Congress ruled governments, that we've had more use of 356. But that was partly because the courts were not intervening fast enough. But have you ever in a Congress government had this behavior as you had in Tamil Nadu of sitting on bills for 2 years? Tell me a single in 80 years.
You had a president signing a proclamation from his bathtub. So we've seen.
No, you've had an emergency.
Yeah.
But that's not, no, that's a different. That is
We've seen
possibly an abuse
misused.
of executive power. That was a strong cabinet. That cabinet did, and that's a debatable point. I'm talking of now federalism only.
Achha.
No governor, howsoever committed, has sat on a bill for 2 years. No governor, howsoever committed, has refused to read the address when the assembly commences. No governor has, on 5 occasions, given the BJP 15 days with a single largest and 20 short. Single largest, 25 short. Yedurappa and Fadnavis examples I gave you.
Yeah.
And given to the other person 3 days. And he was hardly short at the end with 4-5. So this kind of thing is happening. And no government, I can tell you, from the centre has been so stepmotherly in doling out funds.
No, so was GST the first step towards eroding the federal freedom?
Well, GST in that technical, theoretical sense, yes. But GST, I would not call it an assault in conception. It is a mismanaged, badly implemented thing, you can create a problem. The concept was that actually in this middle term and the longer run, everybody's finances will increase. Because you had a clutter, so you had the octroi, you had local sales tax, you had some, entry tax, etc. So you'd merge them all into one central one. And as it stabilized, it actually generates more for both center and revenue. But how did you operate it? In the GST Council, it was written down black and white. This is part of the charter. We will have GST. We know that for 5 years, I don't remember the figure, for so many years, you will have less revenue because it takes time to stabilize. So we, the center, will give you compensatory revenue.
Yes.
Now, I don't remember the figures, but state after state, opposition rule has complained that you've got 50%, 25%, 33% of what the revenue you lost. So you ended up entering into a GST. And remember, states all had to sacrifice. States went into GST with the understanding that we'll get less revenue. But they said after 4 years, 5 years, it'll catch up. And by then, you will be compensating me. Then suddenly came COVID.
Right.
So the government said, okay, the areas today are so much, we'll clear that part of the areas. After this, the areas will remain as they are. We can't give more. COVID was a magical wand. So, GST, the answer to your question is, in conception and design was meant, but was operated in a very, very shoddy manner. The states did suffer, and this is it hits you the most where finances matter.
Tamil Nadu, again, back to it, has been the one who's been complaining the most.
Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Punjab. And you will not find that degree in a BJP ruled state. You'll never find it.
I thought I would let you make that comment. I'm going to now take a break and come back because in the last 2 weeks we've seen a lot of battles which the ruling party has filed cases or as misuse perhaps in the case of Tamil Nadu, and there's been one man who's been fighting the opposition battle in the courts. That is the constitutional expert and ace lawyer Abhishek Manu Singhvi. So I'm going to talk to Dr. Singhvi after the break to take us through a bit of what is happening in the last 2 weeks, especially the case of Pawan Khera, Dr. Singhvi, and of course, how you got a Tamil Nadu Chief Minister get his rightful place. After a quick break. Hello and welcome back to a cover story conversation. I have with me Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. And Dr. Singhvi, I just want to go to you because you are the man who made the headlines in the last 2 weeks and gave the opposition some hope in this whole tumultuous state election, really. Two cases.
So, Priya, you mentioned Tamil Nadu. Uh, I'm fortunate that not only have people consulted me continuously in these 10 days before he has become the CM, but that they have followed my advice. I think that is very sweet of them. They are not obliged to. So the process involved first and foremost, after all, they are also young people and they are also people who have had this remarkable trajectory from 0 to 35% vote share and 107. So they are not in that sense experienced people in governance. So it's nice of them to seek advice, and it's good that they realize that this is rightly to be followed. How to approach the governor, how to stake a claim for 1-0 for the single largest.
Did they
What are the
approach you,
precedents?
before the results or obviously after the results?
No, this part was after, but I've been appearing for many of them before.
Okay.
Perhaps you don't know, I have excellent relations with the DMK and the Stalin government, and I was I was the senior advocate for the Tamil Nadu government as well, for Stalin.
For that case versus the governor.
So now a very interesting episode occurred when last year I was on holiday, in one of the court holidays, when this Karur thing broke. Now, I have also appeared for the Vijay group, Mr. Adav Arjunan, before unrelated cases. So they approached me. I was also the counsel approached by the Tamil Nadu government. So I made a deal. I said, look, I know both sides, but I'll be fair. I will appear for you, the Tamil Nadu government, for the Karur stampede, which is against Vijay. But I will appear for Adav Arjun, where he was being prosecuted for a tweet which he had done, if you remember.
Okay,
he had tweeted in the context of Karur, and they was being prosecuted by... I said, that's not fair. I have already agreed with him. So the two are not related cases. There's no conflict of interest. But what I appreciate is the faith and trust of both sides.
That's actually
so I appeared for Adav Arjun, and in fact we got a stay opposing the Tamil Nadu government in Madras High Court, who was prosecuting him. And that stay has been sustained till now. And I appeared for for Tamil Nadu government in the Karur case, which went to the Supreme Court, etc. So that's the earlier history. This time, for this period of about roughly 10 days, you needed hand-holding because you need to have the precedents, the examples. Why is the single largest necessary?
Right.
Then why is it that you don't give me 15 days or 10 days? And frankly, I've been very open about it. I've spoken on television with greatest respect and humility. And I'm not used to, using strong words. The governor was completely wrong. He was wrong in not calling them immediately for the single largest. He was wrong that when he called them after 9, 7, 8 days, he did not give them 15 days or 10 days, gave them 3 days. He was wrong in virtually trying for a floor test in the Raj Bhavan and not allowing a floor test in the assembly. And I don't blame him. I'm very clear about the fact that he was acting under instructions. So, at that time, the letters drafted, sent to him was one part of the assistance. Thereafter, something interesting happened. I'm sharing this because nothing to hide about it. On a weekend, I went on some personal holiday for 1.5, 2 days on the weekend to Goa. This is just this weekend. On Saturday, they invited me for the swearing in because on Saturday, on my advice, in the evening, the Honorable Governor called them for Sunday.
All right.
So I said, I'd love to, but I can't come because there is no flight from Goa to Chennai. You'll be surprised. It's only in the evening. Swearing was Sunday morning. And the governor gave permission to have the swearing in on Saturday evening. So I said, no. Late that night, we got news that one person who had won by one vote, the TVK person who had won by one vote, his election had been challenged in a writ petition by the loser by one vote and was listed by the High Court on Sunday. So there was a scramble again around 11 o'clock on Saturday. Ki aana hai, aapko aana hai. Not so much for the swearing in, which I had already refused, but for dealing with this. So I said, I can't because there's no flight, but see if you can get a charter. You'll be surprised that they came back saying that though we are in power, we don't get a charter. So luckily, I picked up the phone and I found some charter at about 2 or 3 in the morning who got a plane there in Goa at 6 or 7 in the morning. And I flew down at 6 or 7 in the morning from Goa to Chennai and we argued till the lunch. In the process, I told Mr. Vijay when I met him that though I was supposed to be attending a swearing in, I was doing your work appearing in court at the time of swearing in. So I missed the swearing in anyway. As it happened, that judgment went against us.
Okay.
This story is very remarkable. It went against us yesterday.
Hmm.
Yesterday in the morning when this news came, I mentioned before a 9-judge bench hearing of Supreme Court matters, and they were good enough to list our appeal against that today. And today the stay against this person from voting has been stayed.
Oh.
The stay has been stayed. He couldn't vote. He missed
So
because
the
by then
vote of confidence.
it was over. Vote over. But we got a stay. That means that he is fully entitled to act as an MLA.
MLA.
So this is the kind of fast-moving pace which sometimes works out by tukka, sometimes by accident, sometimes by design. But that really, I think there are troubled times and very trying times for these young people. And I think it's worked out well for them.
No, I think.
And I went straight after that matter because they were waiting, and I had a very cordial meeting with the CM. And
what do you think of the CM?
I think the extraordinary. See, there is a freshness. See, let's be clear on facts. There is no doubt that the freshness has led to his election. There is no doubt that the youthfulness has led to the election. There is no doubt that both men and women of course in larger numbers, but the youth profile.
Yes.
There is no doubt that he carries no baggage is a big plus point. There is no doubt that the expectations are that he will not repeat the rhetoric and the slogan and the shibboleth and the baggage which his predecessors have done. Because this is this feeling of, see, after 60, 70 years, you have a non-DMK, IDMK government moving to within 10 seats of single largest. With the 35% vote share, not a small thing. But he has to be, the higher the expectation, the more careful he has to be. They have an experience deficit, which they openly acknowledge. Along with that, they must have a humility to make up their experience deficit, which I think they have, for the time being at least. They must be careful in each policy, not to make the same mistakes as their predecessors. So I think it's a great time for them to establish an exemplar. And then the rest is luck. Politics is all about luck.
But I think it'll be a great idea for him to have you on speed dial because this governor is going to give him a lot of trouble.
No, I mean, these are all episodic. I think now they are settling down. As it happened, I told him the first thing. I said, look, this judgment is likely to go against us. With the difference of one person. I'm sure you'll have a buffer of 10-20. You have to beat this political game against you in a political manner.
Right.
Not only by law. And as it turned out, with the abstention of the DMK, they had lots and loads of margin.
Yeah, but just in case you were there.
Yeah.
So I know we're out of time, but I quickly want to talk to you about the Pawan Khera case also, because that, did dominate the election narrative, and Hemanta
It was
was
a sad
very,
case. It was sad. You see, I am not talking about the merits of what Pawan Khera said. I'm not saying a word against Mr. Sharma. I'm not saying a word for Pawan Khera. I'm giving you 2 or 3 facts which make me say it's sad. The heart of the allegation is that I defamed you.
Yes.
I sat at a press conference. I didn't come from behind and murder you or assault you. I sat at a press conference. I sat with the person who was the lead campaigner for us, Mr. Gogoi. And I made allegations against you. And let me assume the allegations are wrong, or not wrong, but alleged to be wrong. Ultimately, this sounds only in defamation. By the way, defamation is usually civil defamation. But now, of course, in politics, it's never civil defamation. It's uncivil criminal defamation. Now what happens? That's where I fault the whole thing. You file criminal defamation, okay, you have a right. You add 10, 15 sections which are really, just intended to trap me. Forgery, this, that and the other. In the hurry, you go to the magistrate of Kamrup, and I must doff my hat, the lowest level judiciary magistrate. The entire might of the state went there for a non-bailable warrant. That man wrote a reasoned order and said no non-bailable warrant because none of these things are made out as to why he should be arrested. The crucial question which shows the dishonesty of this whole thing is, yes, you are wrong, I can interrogate you, I can question you, I can seize your passport. Tell me why I need to be arrested for a defamation offence, which is in a press conference in the context of a political campaign. It is also not a defamation of some long-standing property dispute between you and me or enmity between your family and my family.
Correct.
This is meant to harass you. This is meant to intimidate you. This is meant to scare you because you are a political opponent. Political battles must be fought out in politics, but if you fight it in law, don't come arresting me. Nobody has answered the question, why is it imperative that Priya Sehgal must be arrested for something she says on camera? She can be interrogated. So we went to court. Now, in the court, Telangana High Court gave a transit bail. Normally, transit bail ought not to have been challenged. They challenged it in the Supreme Court. We were not there. On the first day, there was an ex parte stay. On the second day, I strongly mentioned it. The court heard the matter on the third day. And on this whole series of reasons, especially that this is not a case of arrest. Nobody is saying they are innocent. Let the trial decide. Nobody can say that you can not cooperate. Nobody is saying that you will not come when I call you for interrogation. Nobody is saying that you'll fly away abroad. But tell me why you must arrest. And I think the court accepted that and gave this judgment. So I think this whole thing about a certain, I would not call it cordiality, a certain standard in politics has disappeared long ago.
Yes.
There's no point giving sermons of wistfulness. It's just,
Mujhe smaran hai.
It's simple that, you are my enemy. You're no more my political adversary. That's the sad part.
That's right. In fact, what I find interesting is in both the cases you use the words fairness. So I think also, the sense of fairness.
I think so. I think
being in danger is what moves you.
You have to hit hard politically, but not so much below the belt. No. He's your political opponent. You are hounding him. 55 people plus came to Nizamuddin. Some people say 75 came
to his house, Pawan Khera's house.
Oh, had he murdered? Is he a terrorist? अब ठीक है, आपका झगड़ा है, आप करिए उसको, लेकिन this is what is known as this viciousness. That I don't support.
Well, I'm sure the Congress party is very grateful that you're there in their corner. We saw some of they had, I think, a felicitation or
that's kind of them, yes.
Celebration, or I think general relief that you're there. Yes. But thank you, Dr. Singhvi, for this conversation. I'm going to keep coming and troubling you for more. But for now, thank you very much.
Very nice to see you. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.